Welcome to this free excerpt of my A to Z masterclass for Adobe Photoshop. Now, as many of you know, Photoshop can be a can of worms. My objective is to teach you how the software thinks, and that's how I approach every program I teach, from Maya, 3D Studio Max, to Final Cut, to web development, to Google SEO, to WordPress. I'm basically a total guru when it comes to this stuff. I've been doing this for 27 years, and my plan is a very simple one. I want to break it down so incredibly fundamentally that you leave my course after even 15 minutes going, whoa, what did I just pay for? That's so simple. Yes, it's simple because I make it simple. And so sit back, relax, crack your knuckles, have a beverage, and let me share with you my techniques with Photoshop, more importantly, how Photoshop thinks and what it expects from you. Okay. Well, first of all, Photoshop is an image-based program. What do I mean by that? Well, images are made up of pixels. Pixels are not scalable. As an example, Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based program. Vectors are considered objects. Objects are scalable because they're mathematical calculations. Therefore, anything about the image is under the image menu. So as an example, we have a Photoshop file here, and you'll notice that the background is locked by default. Now, here's what I suggest you do. I'm going to unlock this by clicking right there. This becomes layer 0. Now, do yourself a huge favor. Photoshop can be a very unforgiving program, even though there's undos and redos. But if you don't protect yourself, you're going to get into trouble. So here's what I suggest you do. No matter what you're working on, I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to call that original as an original file. I'm going to take this file, drag it down to my new letter icon. I'm going to double click in that and call it WC for working copy. Make a change, save a change. Right off the bat, I'm sharing with you the same production techniques I use to troubleshoot, solve issues. If you don't set yourself up the right way, you're going to run into trouble later. So I'm going to hide this original layer, make a change, save a change. Now again, here is how Photoshop thinks. Probably the most difficult thing to do in Photoshop, since an image-based program, is to select something. Anything about the image is under the image menu. And I also have a selecting menu. Select all, select none, select layers, etc., etc. So here's some basic fundamentals I want to share with you. And for those of you that are hardcore Photoshop users, I can assure you that some of the things I'm going to share with you in the next couple of minutes you probably haven't seen before. All right, so I'm going to select the L for lasso tool as an example. I'm just going to select this area here, and I'm going to hit the delete key. Now, very important step here. I'm selected on this top layer. And if I hit the delete key right now, it's going to delete the transparency. Now, the reason it's doing that is because my layer is no longer locked. If it was locked, it would have deleted to the background color, which comes to our next step. Here's my foreground color. Here's my background color. What does that mean? Foreground color is the color I paint with. Background color is the color I erase or delete to. So as an example, if I hit my B for brush tool right now and I start painting, incidentally, I can increase the size of any brush by hitting the right bracket key. Right bracket next to the OP, left bracket, right bracket key, and I can now start painting in with black. Why am I painting with black? Because black is my foreground color, because that's what it defaults to. So as an example, let's say that I wanted to paint with this orange rose color. Very simple way to do this. I'm in my Beaver brush tool, hold down the Option key. Option for choices, choices for options. I could sample that color. Notice that color now becomes my foreground color. So now I can paint with that foreground color in the selected area. Now understand something. Anytime you select something in Photoshop, it's technically known as a mask. This is selected, the outside is protected. This is selected, the outside is protected. So let's understand something. This is a selection. Anything about the selection is under the select menu. So what I can actually do is I can, based on these choices, because software simply comes down to choices, I can inverse the selection. So right now, this is protected and this is selected. So if I start painting in here, I can't paint in here, but I can paint outside of it because this is protected, this is selected. I did that because I'm going to undo this for a second. Command Option Z undoes. Command Z, incidentally, this program is different from Illustrator or other programs. You have Command Z, Control Z.